Welcome to Africa's first ROG arena. Woo!
Cars.coza.
Hi, and welcome to round 2 of the GT7 ATK Pro Series, of course, where the best sim drivers from all around the country get together to find out who the best is on, this week, a very specific platform, Gran Turismo on GT7 on PlayStation, of course, PlayStation 4 and 5. Dan, we were discussing this week. Should we upgrade our PlayStations? But here we are to watch the best do it. And what a day it's going to be. We are, of course, at the mountain, Dan, a place where many cars have come and gone. And today, these guys are looking to go as fast as possible.
I love this track. I love it so much. It's one of my all-time favorites, Mount Panorama, Bathurst. And I must say, like after round 1 at Fuji, Gran Turismo 7 is opening my eyes, and I am on the lookout for a PlayStation. Haven't quite got one yet, but I will be joining these guys soon because it looks fun. And yeah, it was such an awesome round 1, so close. The different strategies at play really opened my eyes to Gran Turismo 7, and I've got a bit of inside info for this round as well. And it looks like the strategy is right on a cutting edge between a 2-stopper and a 1-stopper as well. And we've got just such an epic track. I mean, we'll talk about it when we go in there, but Mount Panorama, what a circuit it is.
Plenty to talk about. Of course, none of this would be possible without our sponsors. You can see them at the bottom of your screen over there. We've got Puma, Motorsport South Africa, Coach Dave Academy, Africa Race Together, Kylomi 9-hour, South African GT, SimGrid, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the famed Mount Panorama. My name is Ernest Page, joined by Daniel Haynes, and welcome to round 2 of the ATK Pro Series on GT7.
Nice. It's really going to be. I mean, it's such a classic. I mean, have you done any racing at Bathurst at all, Ernest? Just out of interest.
Not in person, unfortunately. I wish I'd been there myself, but I did play the many sim laps around there, but I still can't get the hang of it, Dan. It's one of those courses where the rhythm that one needs to find is so difficult. So I'm expecting to see these guys all over the place today, but from what I hear, guys like Dino are so good, they're going to be able to do this thing start to finish without any mistakes. Let's see.
You're 100% right, though. It's one of those circuits, when I first started racing it on the sim, I hated it. Because it's so bloody difficult. It really is hard. I mean, the margin for error is wafer thin. But once you nail it, once you get into a rhythm round here, it all of a sudden goes from your worst circuit ever to one of the best. And I've done a 12-hour round here, and it's just the satisfaction from pulling off a good lap is just monumental, more than any other circuit. I think it is just insane, and we're going to see that quality here because these guys are the best. And especially as they come down here, the mountain straight, and they're coming up to Griffin's Bend, the tight right-hander, into the mountain section, up through the cutting turn 4. It is so technical. I mean, it's one of those circuits that would never be allowed now, but it exists from historical reasons, and thank goodness it does that we get to still enjoy it.
Well, we cut now to the man we were speaking about earlier on, DMR Dino. He's tagged just behind him by Vincent. And then, of course, Levitius in the back there. A couple of familiar names you might remember from the last installment at, as you mentioned, Dan, Fuji Speedway. This, of course, is qualifying, so these drivers are going to try and get the best possible time that they can. And unfortunately, our winner from the last event, Kaketsu Pilani, has not been available to race today. He's pulled out at the last. So it does look like this could be Dino's race to win or lose, depending on who gives him what sort of time there.
Yeah, that's a real shame that Kaketsu Pilani's not managed to make round 2, but you do get one drop round, so he's taken Bathurst as his drop round, obviously. It is something that DMRE Dino has to literally capitalise on. You feel like he needs a win here. With Kaketsu taking his drop round, it's vital for him to take a win and really put the pressure back on to Kaketsu into round 3. So DMRE Dino is going to be all out for a win here, and it's not going to be easy. It really isn't. One touch of the walls and it's all over.
Exactly. Dino last time out got second position. Vincent just behind him there got 4th in the last installment at Fuji. So this, of course, round 2, and these drivers will be fighting it out for a championship, which is, of course, the Pro Series Championship brought to you by ATK and Mercedes-Benz. And now we see Dino out there at the moment. Second position, Vincent gets first. So Vincent already showing his form, and just when you think it's going to be a predictable day of motorsport, these guys have proved us wrong. There, Dan, some interesting strategies going to be in play today when it comes to tires. Nobody knows who's going to be doing what. The creators of the setup here have structured it in such a way that these drivers have to stop once, twice, maybe even 3 times.
Yeah, that's what's really opened my eyes to Gran Turismo 7. Never realised that this sim was so strategy intensive, if you like.
Oh, someone's off. SMP Pro is off.
Yeah, easy place to go off at Griffin's Bend there, turn 2. It won't be the first person we see probably today going off there. But yeah, like we said, the strategy is so vital. And what makes it interesting is they changed the tyre wear and they changed the mandatory amount of tyres you'd have to take. So we've got 7x tyre wear, which is, I'm told, a really insane amount. As in, it's going to be very difficult to maintain your tyres. And then what makes it worse is they got racing hards or racing softs to pick from. And softs is basically just a qualifying tyre, as in you do 1 lap, out lap, you do a hot lap, and then you do an in lap, and you finish with them.
And this is
but
such a long
all of a sudden it's a race tyre.
Oh yeah. So this is such a long.
Exactly.
Oh, somebody's gone off there. Somebody's gone off, and that is one of the corners, the dipper over there that we were talking about earlier on. Could be a place where these cars are going to suffer. And there you see it. The big incident like this happened. I think it was 1988, right here, where one car made a mistake, then the rest just piled into each other. And that's exactly the kind of spot where that can happen, right here on top of the mountain.
Yeah, you basically form a roadblock, don't you? On the exit of turn 4, the cutting is always a classic where the back end steps out and all of a sudden you form a roadblock. You come around the corner and you've got cars just ploughing in the side of you. Yeah, and then over the top of Skyline, turn 11, where it is so dip. The reason why those corners are so hard is you can't brake in a straight line. You've got to trail brake round a curve, and that's fundamentally against the how you race, isn't it? You're always told brake in a straight line, but you've got 2 corners on this circuit where that's not possible. You have to do a bit of braking whilst cornering, and that's so difficult to get that right. Yeah, indeed.
And the thing is, the instructor only says brake in a straight line because he doesn't want you to wreck their car, Dan. But we know, but we know that if you really want to go fast, you got to brake in the turn a little bit as well. And these guys are you have to be so good at it. As Ivan there goes into the pit lane, you've got to be so good at it on this specific course as the pit crew get ready for action. 72 liters on board at the moment, so he's got looks like a lot of fuel on board already. As we look now at Vincent in second position, Mark has taken first. So Mark in first position, Vincent in second, Dino in third. And we've seen this before with the Gran Turismo, is that these drivers tend to stay in the positions that they qualify in, and then they get shuffled at the strategy. So qualifying is absolutely important in Gran Turismo, it seems.
Yeah, and with going back to the race, because they have to run that soft tyre, which is effectively a quali tyre, it means that you either do 2 stops with a hard tyre, and then you finish on the softs, and it is just a flying sprint finish, and you'll be massively quick for 2 or 3 laps. Or you push the hards for as far as you possibly can, come in for the softs, and you push them as far as you can, but I'm told after 6 laps they're almost non-existent. And then you run the risk of running into the wall. So that's where it's going to be super interesting. I think qualifying may be what it is, but that we're going to see a lot of cars changing places during the race, depending on whether they come in early for a 2-stopper or whether they just really push that tyre wear. Now, for me, I mean, it's one thing to push tyres, but on a circuit where if you go wide, you're finished. It's really risky to do. Whoever does that 1-stopper. That's going to be such a risk, because on used tyres, if you start washing out wide and you hit that wall on the mountain section, you're going to have some damage.
Yeah, big time damage is what you can look forward to if you pop that wall, even just a little bit, Dan. But you said you've got a lot of experience here at the mountain in various sim races, Dan. What has your experience been like?
Not good. I'm not gonna lie. I did the 12-hour of iRacing here a couple of years ago. It was actually the same race that Max Verstappen did it in, and I think he only lasted 4 laps. So it shows you how bad it is. I think we lasted 4 hours for the first run, and then I did complete it another time. But it's it's one of those races where you just don't. It's a little bit like the full Nordschleife 24-hour. You don't even think about the finish result. You just try to survive, and then when you get to the last hour, you just see if you're in it. It's just insane because I mean it's. The margin for error is sometimes totally out of your control. You can come through this mountain sections. We're looking through Dino here, coming up through Skyline. And I mean, there's just a car that's crashed in front of you. You don't know anything about it until you hit it and your race is over. So it's just such a war of attrition that I think if you finish this result, finish the race is a result in itself.
To finish first, you must first finish. And all these drivers
100% here.
Yeah, all these drivers are really infinitely aware of that fact. Malose says this is his favorite track. He calls it Deathhurst. Joan de Jager says, let's see some racing. So he's ready to see some action. And there you can see more of the grid on your screen there on the left-hand side. Zivan in 6th place. The Vitius in 5th place over there. Dino now in 4th position, if you can believe it.
Yeah, he needs to gain some time. He needs to get up there. So I'm not sure why Dino's down in 4th. Hoping for some track progression, I think. But we've still a bit of time left to get up that result.
Yeah, still plenty time left for him to make a change to that result. But, jeez, man, can you believe that this is the sort of order of things? Dino, you'd think, oh, there we go. Dino goes up. Dino goes up into pole position. And there he once again shows his turn of speed at 2 minute dead. And Dino goes up into pole position, 2 minute 0.95. And that's the first time he's gone into the 2 minute range.
I'd love to go to Bathurst because it's a public road when it isn't a racetrack, isn't it? But I'm told that they've got about 15 speed cameras on it. So you you go there, you might as well take a push bike because you're not allowed to go at any sort of speed.
You're not going you're not going through the dipper, okay?
No. not at anything that makes you feel like it's a dipper anyway. It's I think it's very, very heavily policed, as Australia has got a bit of reputation for massive health and safety country. When I went there, it's just signs everywhere for warning you of every possible way of killing yourself, and then they have the Bathurst 12-hour. It seems so contradictory to what the country's like, that this race is genuinely dangerous.
Dan Vincent Nell jumps to the top of the order there. Things have shuffled up a little bit, Dan. So Vincent Nell has jumped up to the order there. Zivan has taken... so we've got Ninja now in 2nd position. What is going on here? Vincent now in 2nd position. Dino back up in 1st. So the shuffling is happening right in front of us, live in front of us, Dan. Maluko is in 4th position here. So there's a lot of guys here that weren't featuring as much before, but now suddenly find themselves in the mix. Whereas Vincent goes 3rd, and Stefan Mocker now in 2nd position.
Yeah, a bit of switching around, and I'm not sure there's a bit of glitching in Gran Turismo 7. I've heard in the qualifying sessions. Maybe that's the potential for it. The leaderboards don't seem accurate, do they? They're jumping around all over the place. Dino back into his provisional pole position spot. Yeah, and let's see whether any of his teammates can do anything about it. It's a bit of a DMRE lockout at the moment. The top 4 positions all held by that team.
Yeah, Michael Roux there, who is... DMR Snaky. And the last time was a bit annoying because the last time we had their names on the screen. I wish we could have that back again. Much easier if we had their names on screen and not have to do the translating from the PlayStation ID.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the PlayStation ID. But I am quite familiar as they come down the Conrad straight here with Dino, and unbelievably, I mean, it's a massive long straight. They come through to the chase, turn 20, 21, 22. This little kink here was actually added in just to slow them down, because the Conrad straight was all the way to Murray's Corner before, but they were literally taking off on this hump. So they thought we better try and slow them down. So many dangerous corners.
Taking off over the hump just before the hard 90 left-hander.
Yeah, insane. And then they come up to turn 1 at Hell Corner. It's called Hell Corner because there used to be an old tree stump that was on the inside apex. And they cut a tree down, but they left the stump there for ages. And it was like, if you hit it, you would go straight to hell, is what eventually they removed it, thank goodness, because I mean, that's not very It's the old Australia, if you like, before the cares of health and safety this track was produced.
Yeah, nobody was wagging their finger. No health and safety officer was wagging their finger. And I was watching a documentary on old Le Mans cars at a time where safety wasn't a concern. The cars and the circuits weren't built with the drivers in mind. They were built with the spectacle and the speed of it all. And this is definitely one of those types of circuits where it's about spectacle and speed. But thankfully, a lot of that is retained at the moment, even in its current guise.
Yeah, and hopefully it will stay the same for a long time to come, because it is such an enjoyable circuit. But like I said, it is because it is so difficult through this mountain section. It is one that you really hate when you first start, because it takes a lot of practice. It is almost like the Australian version of the Nordschleife, isn't it, really?
Yes, exactly. It is, though. And then I would imagine a lot of teams go testing here for Nordschleife as well, especially the Australian teams before they go out that way. As we watch SMP 3 Pro making his way through the top. And there you have it, folks. That is the end of qualifying. Dino gets us into pole position over there. He's going to lead us off. We wait for those results to become official. But it does look like Dino has put himself on the top spot. And we're going to go straight into the race pretty soon. But Dan, so far, Dino showing his class. But there do seem to be a lot of potential heirs to the throne at this stage. A lot of guys in it for the win.
Yeah, Dino's really got to pull it out tonight, I think. I know it's way early in the season. I don't want to disrespect any other drivers, but you just feel that with Kaketsu Polani taking his drop round in round 2, that this is where points from DMRE Dino really needs to be sort of put on the board, ready to go into round 3.
Yeah, this is the start of the race. Dino in first place over there. Liam in second place. Challenging for second place now. That's Liam in second position. Oh, Liam goes around the outside, going into the first right-hand over here. Very tricky corner up the mountain, and Liam takes it. Liam easily snatches the position. Now, could this be a situation where tires come into play, Dan?
Yeah, I think it definitely will be. And if you're on a strategy that is a two-stopper, you want to make sure you're getting ahead. So we'll look out for, see whether Liam does a two-stopper and Dino is going to push for the one-stopper, in which case he won't be too concerned. But that was a great pass down the mountain straight into Griffin's Bend, because you really can't pass through this section at all. The whole way through the mountain, you're literally just a passenger and you're just following the car in front. There's no way you take a risk through here.
Yeah, so Dino now trailing behind Liam over there, and Liam currently standing about 7th in the championship, so that would mean he got 7th position at the last event as well. So this is a fantastic turn of events for him, because one win over here could see right up the order. In second position there now is Dino, and Rue is in third place. SMP Pro over there in third place. Vincent Nall in fourth position, and Michael Rue-Snakey in 5th position. That is SMP Pro there. That's Stefan Mocker in 3rd place. Here we go on board now with the leader.
Yeah, so Liam Levitas is going to go. I think he's on for a two-stopper because he's already pulled a bit of a gap, but Dino's following him. These front two are already separating them from the rest of the field. But, I mean, for Dino's sake, you'd expect Liam to be going for a two-stopper here, which would be hard, and then a very, very quick hard soft runner, racing softs at the end of the race. Now Dino, if he goes for a one-stopper, will be starting on the hards most likely, and then switching onto the softs with only about 6 laps to go. So it's going to be a little bit like Fuji if that's the case. So I'm really hoping it is, because that came down to basically the last lap, didn't it? The gaps were
last
big,
corner,
they were
last
just
lap,
converging towards the finish.
They were 100% converging. 1 second in it near the end there, as Ninja and Maluka take each other on. Oh, somebody's gone a little bit sideways. That's Henny over there, looks like it, in 12th position, getting it very squirrely out of the first corner. Hell corner over there, down the mountain straight they go now. And the last time we saw Kaketsu Pelani almost losing it on the very last corner of the very last lap, it came down to about 1 second the gap. So this time, I don't think Dino's looking for any of that drama. At least he doesn't want to be on the receiving end of any of that drama. As Henny now has a look down the inside. Oh, squeezes through there. Ninja gets pushed wide. What a brave move as they make their way through the cutting.
Yeah, there's 2 massive passing opportunities here, and it's no surprise at the end of the 2 long straights, the Mountain Straight and the Conrod Straight, basically. So getting a good exit out of Hell Corner, Corner 1, and Forest Elbow 18 is absolutely vital, because it takes a real brave man to put a pass through here unless there's a massive mistake through the mountain section.
Exactly. This seems like a silly place to want to overtake. You're going downhill on the brakes. The car's moving around left to right. If you get the angle of attack wrong on one of those corners, you're kind of thrown out for the rest of the rhythm. So it's kind of like misstepping, and I would know a lot about this, misstepping a dance move, and then you're screwed and the salsa teacher's screaming at you, and it doesn't work out quite as well.
I think you've got a bit of experience there, Ernest. You just under the radar. Now, that mountain section, they're really you to get it right, you have to get really familiar with your line through Skyline and through the Dipper. But you can't take another line. You don't practice another line, there's no opportunity to pass unless you're forced into it, basically. Or I'm just not skilled enough to do it.
Well, what's fascinating for me with regard to the line, Dan, that you mentioned, is that line isn't just a point-to-point line. It's the curvature of that line needs to be similar as well, because it feeds one to the next. Oh man, it's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, like the Skyline, you have to brake because you go over such a high crest. It lightens the car, and then you have to come off the brake and then brake again on the downslope. It's really weird, but once you've got it, you have it nailed down. But it's definitely something that you need a lot of practice around here.
Well, I've spoken to a previous Bathurst winner, Mika Salo. He won. I can't remember which one exactly. I need to Google that again. But he won a big Bathurst race here. And he told me this was one of the most difficult sort of motorsport events of his life, because it's so taxing and you can't blink at night over the mountain. You cannot blink. It's nail-biting stuff every single lap. And these guys are going through it as we speak.
And the winner this year, the 12-hour, was this car as well, the Mercedes-AMG. So it's quite fitting. We've got a one-make series here. And it was done by Jules Gounon, who won the Kalami 9-hour. Just a few weeks ago, and he was teammates won it the previous time they ran here before COVID with Jordan Pepper as well. So in the Bentley. So it's we've got a good history. We've got a South African winner recently in the penultimate running of this event, and we'll see what this is. Obviously a different kettle of fish though, with a 40-minute sprint race. These guys have basically ran every combination of strategy. Can't practice that in a 12-hour, but in a 40-minute, these guys have probably done plenty of testing on a two-stopper, one-stopper, and it really comes down, from what I've been told, to almost nothing. But at the end, you will converge. So that's what we're looking for as we wait for the first round of pit stops. That's when we'll start to find out who's gone on the two-stopper and who's going to carry on for a one-stopper.
Liam currently on the fastest laps with a 2:03.5 as we cut to Vincent Nell in 4th position, chasing down Stefan Mock over there. Vincent Nell currently 4th in the championship as well, and Stefan currently 3rd in the championship as well. So the two of them are literally fighting for championship position on circuit as we speak. And this should be an interesting next few minutes, because the strategies are going to be kicking in hard and fast in the coming moments. I think in the next 10-15 minutes or so, we're going to start to see the guys starting to pit, especially those on soft tires. And Liam once again going fastest there with the 2:03.551, fastest lap again for him. So Liam cementing that fastest lap, and let's see how the rest of them are going to be able to do. So Liam clearly on the let's push hard for the first few laps strategy.
Yeah, I'm not sure when the two stoppers would start for their first stop. I think Dino reckons that a one stopper, they would be pushing the hards to around lap 12 or 13. So obviously we're only on lap 4 now. So maybe the two stoppers would be coming in earlier, around sort of lap 8 or so. Apparently the softs are pretty much unusable after 6 laps. You just cannot push them any further than that. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. But obviously Liam at the moment is putting a bit of a he's putting a bit of a cork in the DMRE race, isn't he? Because the rest of the team is behind them and probably want their guy to win. But Liam's really, it's going to be so interesting to see how this pans out. We thought it was going all one way at Fuji, and then it got really interesting in the last couple of laps. So that's what I'm expecting to see here again.
Yeah, the convergence, as you so well put it earlier on, Dan, is exactly what we're expecting to see, but we're not quite sure what that convergence is going to look like, and that's what makes it so exciting over here, because we're not quite sure what exactly this moment is going to look like. We've got Nitro Merlin over here that we're on board with at the moment, and Michael is his day-to-day name that he goes by. He's getting chased by KBR over there. That's Rainier Simon having a nice look now as they head towards the first corner. And nope, still a bit of a sideways moment for both of them. But here comes the big long straight now, Dan. This could be an overtake maneuver and opportunity as we see it.
Yeah, this is done. This is done. In the draft up the mountain straight, look up the inside as you go into turn 2. And I think this could be a pass that's cemented by Griffin's Bend. Does look like he's got the inside line. Surely it's done.
Oh,
great pass.
gets it done. Gets it done. Nitro Merlin, Michael PS has to slide it down as we go on board with him now, and he watches the KBR car head off into the distance. Rainier Simon, it's got some serious turn of speed there, does Rainier. There's definitely a big difference in the speed. The speed differential between these cars is different and higher than it was at Fuji.
Yeah, I think and the tyre wear will be, but between hards and softs, it's going to be so different. We were expecting 19 to 20 laps in this race over the 40 minutes as a push to get to 20 laps. You have to have a perfect race apparently to get there. So between 19 and 20 laps, and then it's just, I mean, that's what makes it interesting. The fact they've got to use that soft tyre, which really you'd only want to use for 3 or 4 laps to get the best out of it.
Something's happening on screen here. First thing is that Dino's got a penalty, but what's also interesting, he caught up to Liam quite a bit, so Dino was able to get much closer to Liam. He's lost him now again, and look at that, Dino gets overtaken by Stefan Marker, so Dino loses on 1.5 seconds, and it just shows you how close this racing is. But I thought it was quite a way down the road, but that momentum that he lost was just too much, and Stefan Marker takes the position.
Yeah, he got a slow down, didn't he, on the Conrad Straight, and that's the last place you ever want to take it because the amount of speed from the people behind you that getting time.
He should have done it through the top of the mountain. He should have done it through the top of the mountain.
I'm not sure how the slowdowns work here. I assume you have to serve them when they're given to you, but yeah, that's unfortunate. It's going to really pay because, I mean, you take your slowdown, but trying to make sure you don't lose momentum after the slowdown's finished, if that makes sense, because you've got to try and get back up to speed, isn't it?
Oh, but there must be a best way to do that, and I think the guys most qualified to know that are the GT guys and GT Sport, GT7 guys, because they've had to incorporate that into their driving technique and style, just like when Formula One got buttons on the steering wheel. At first it was only traction control, ABS, etc., and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're opening flaps and things like a plane. So, like you're flying a jet aircraft. So the drivers...
Sorry, Ernest, I'm just thinking we've got we haven't got Liam in first place.
Yeah, Liam's pitted. Liam has pitted.
He's pitted already, so he's definitely on a 2-stopper. So there you go, lap 6 of a 19 lap race. He'll probably be coming in again on the racing hard sort of lap 12, 13, and then trying to push to the end. You'd think he'd gone a bit further, to be quite honest, though. So Liam down in 10th spot. The reason why he was so quick was because he came in early.
So now, judging by how close he got to that wall there, is he running on a hard compound tire at the moment and back on the hards and now going to be struggling for grip? Because we both know what it feels like when you jump from a soft compound to a hard compound. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's so different. And he come in sort of lap 5, didn't he? So I don't know whether he started on the softs and why he was so quick and managed to get that pass done on Dino in on the first lap and then pull a bit of a gap, and then it started wearing off towards the end, and now he's come into the hards and he's going to have to do 2 stints of those. Or I'm really not sure, to be honest. There's so many different ways you could play this, and without seeing the actual tire compounds on screen exactly what they're running, I'm a bit guessing.
This is for 11th position through the top of the mountain there. Can you believe it? Ravinity over there with a fantastic drive, very accurate, and you can see all the way down the order these guys are really pushing in those laps. The drivers aren't slow, they're just not as fast as the top drivers. They're very closely matched, all of these guys, as we see positions for 2 till 5 over there. Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, all fighting for position number 1 and 2. Oh, there goes Dino again. Dino takes the lead back. Dino snatches the lead back as they go into the right-hander up the mountain, and Griffin's Bend over there is where the position got taken and easily Dino snatched back that position, and now all of a sudden Stefan Mocker finds himself on the back foot in second place.
Yeah, another pass into Griffin's Bend. That's basically where we've seen every pass so far this evening, and that is really where often a pass is made. It's the only sensible place to make a pass, put it that way. And not until you start getting desperate towards the end of the race do you push margins elsewhere.
Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. We want to throw some sense and sensibility out of the window eventually. Let's hope some of the drivers do that, because that's always fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes you get like it wrong over Skyline, through over that crest there, down towards the dipper, and you take guys will take the off-road, and you can make a pass there. But so far we haven't seen it. Very squirmy, haven't they? And it's like organised falling out the bottom section of the mountain. When you're coming down the hill, you're just throwing it in left, right, and for some reason you stay off the walls, and sometimes you can't really explain why. We've got another slowdown here.
Oh, Snakey slows it down. Unfortunately, Michael Roux has to take a big slowdown moment over there. 3.9 seconds now, the gap, as Michael Roux finds himself in 5th position, the same position he finished in last time.
I wonder whether these guys afterwards can tell us how you pick up a slowdown on the top of the mountain and take it onto Conrod, because I mean, with walls there's no track cuts available.
Yeah, it would be probably through the dipper where they touch the inside section over there. I would imagine 2 wheels on the dirt
maybe
somewhere.
That's quite harsh. That is pretty harsh. No other sim would really penalise you that much on the
spot.
No. So that is a very harsh, it's a severe penalty, isn't it? They want to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, at least they don't have to go into the pit lane for a drive-through penalty. So in that sense, maybe a bit better.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking at iRacing you probably get a 1x for just going off there and nothing else, and so this is Gran Turismo 7, very much harsher than iRacing even.
And that's why we see such accurate driving over here. We've always noted that these guys are exceptionally accurate at placing the car exactly where it's supposed to be, and we see that especially through this section. It's curb to curb here. You've got to go curb to curb, and especially, just look at that, rubbing is racing, as the side of the car there touches the wall, as Liam finds his way now also in 9th position, our once leader of this race, now in 9th position, battling with the 10th place man over there.
Yes, we're in lap 8. We're expecting the one-stoppers to come in sort of lap 12 or 13, pushing to 12 or 13. Pretty sure Liam's on a 2-stopper, unless he's flipped it in reverse and he started on the soft and finishing on the hards. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, he'll obviously launch himself back up towards the top probably first by the time everyone else takes their first pit stops, and then we need to start judging that gap. I'm not sure how long a pit window is here, to be honest, in Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah, Liam is someone that we'll have to watch closely. Stoll got the fastest lap of the race with a 2:03.5 as we go on board with 6th place man over there, KBR, and that's Rainier Simon. Followed very closely there by Nitro Mill and Michael Feiss in 7th position. Michael Feiss watching on as KBR makes his way around now towards the end of the lap.
Is he one of the drivers that got promoted from the first round? Coming into the pits now, yeah. So lap 8, I have no idea what strategy that is. That's nowhere for anywhere. So we'll have to see what that pans out. And but just a reminder, I think the bottom 3 go down to seeding 2 for round 3, and then the top 3 from seeding 1 get promoted into. From seeding 2 get promoted into season 1 for round 3 as well. So there is a promotion and demotion here. So the last thing you ever want to do is finish in the bottom 3.
Yeah, KBR over there getting his pit stop sorted as Henny makes his way through. And Henny was in 9th place last time. Henny was saying no in the Mercedes-Benz over there. Of course, all these drivers in the Mercedes-Benz, because this is a one-make series, the ATK Pro Series powered by Mercedes-Benz. And these guys are driving what they all agree is a frankly really good car. The front engine setup on this car really works well, especially on the circuit. I too myself prefer the front engine GT setup. So it's luckily for these guys, they all get given a decent car this time, and they don't to moan about their car not being as fast as the others.
Well, it won the 12-hour at Bathurst a few weeks ago, so I mean it can't be that bad. that was against all the brands. So on this particular circuit, at least, this car reigned supreme here only a few weeks ago in the Mercedes-Benz. It was the Sun Energy 1 car that we saw
What a
Kailami that took the victory. That sort of orange one with the Australian drivers as well. Quite an emotional win at the end.
I remembered well.
Yeah, we spent some time with that car. It was good. So yeah, it's obviously a class act at Bathurst, isn't it?
Jeez, can you imagine? And off they go through, down the Conrad Straight, through the chase over there, flat out, as fast as you can, and then hard on the brakes for turn 21 and 22. And now back towards Murray's corner, the final corner under the bridge over there. Another very hard braking zone. So many threshold braking points over here, Dan. Those brakes must be cooked at this stage.
Yeah, it's not easy coming into Murray's corner, the last corner, turn 23, because it's downhill as well. You have to brake a little bit earlier. I've seen so many people mess that up. But I mean, in Gran Turismo 7, these guys drive like they're on a metronome, don't they? They're so precise that they can almost work out the exact time they're going to finish. So don't see any mistakes through the field whatsoever. It's just they're going flat out, and they just seem to know where they're going to finish up before they even start that practice. It's a lot of practice goes into these.
It's amazing. They are really metronomical when it comes to their precision, performance, time, pace, and even strategy. And like you say, they call it down to the second sometimes. And it's, SMP Pro gets it sideways there. Stefan Mocker gets it sideways. And we're just talking about not making any mistakes. And he just made a tiny one. And can Vincent capitalize over there? Can Dino capitalize? Can all of them start bunching up as they make their way through? Vincent in third position at the moment. Stefan Mocker in second place. Dino in first place currently. But there was a big moment there. And now all of a sudden Vincent finds himself a little bit closer. Maybe within striking distance.
Yeah, they're happy to go along as a bit of a team train here, aren't they? They're just sort of obviously pacing themselves for their strategy. They'll know between the teammates, obviously, what strategies they're doing. It looks like they're all following each other there, doesn't it? Because the DMRE guys are all sort of going along in together, and they're locked together. No one's just tried to mix it up a bit. So apart from Liam down in 8th place, we're waiting for the pit stop window to open up. I'm thinking 2 more laps before we like to see Dino come in for his one stopper, probably lap 12 or 13, I think.
Yeah, it's a DMR lockout 1 to 6, and Liam could be the person to upset that entire apple cart as our man Ninja over there makes his way through. And Liam, as we mentioned, Ninja was second place man in our second division. That's Tini Maritz over there. Now mixing it up with the big dogs here in 9th place. So a well-deserved spot here, and now finding himself in the top 10. But it's not over by a long shot, Dan. Still pit stops to go.
No, and I think that green AMG's waiting. It's got some space for some sponsors, hasn't it? We've got number 66. A little bit of branding waiting to go on that car,
much
maybe
needed.
for round 3.
I almost bought a car that color once. It was actually a farm vehicle, yes. Oh, he got overtaken. But Henny gets the overtake
down
there.
Here at the end of Conrad, that was an easy pass.
Henny gets the overtake there, and but still in the top 10 is our man Tini Maritz. Now getting a little bit of pressure now from Maluka. I almost bought a car that color, and that color is called John Deere Green.
So you know the tractor, basically. You almost bought
basically,
a tractor,
I almost bought a tractor. It was sprayed quite literally with the John Deere Green spray paint. So, Maluka goes for the overtake down the inside. Maluka makes it
in 3 corners. That's nice. We've seen a pass up Health Corner. That's interesting there. So he's going backwards.
Beautiful. But a beautiful move from Maluka. Unfortunately, there's always going to be someone that suffers, and this time it's our man Ninja over there. Welcome to Pool 1, Ninja. Welcome to Pool 1. Hopefully some lessons learned here, but the experience, I'm sure, will be fantastic for him, nevertheless. And he gets to measure his pace up against some of the best.
Yeah, and just to get into Pool 1, it looks like it's a bit of a feat. You've really got to have some speed. Obviously, the slightly limited size in the grid in Gran Turismo 7 means just to get into Pool 1, you've got to be a class act.
Oops. Vincent there in 3rd place, Zivan in 4th place, Stefan Mocker still in 2nd position, Dino still in 1st place, Vincent 4.5 seconds down in 3rd position over there.
So they cross the line now. They should go on to lap 12, and there's a possibility that they all plough into the pits on this lap. If not, they can try their hardest to push one more. I think it's in their benefit that obviously at this stage on lap 12, we all know that these guys are racing on the racing hard tyre. So they've got to push as far as they possibly can because they want to spend the least amount. Otherwise, they're going to be in all worlds of hurt at the end of this race on that soft tyre.
Yeah, the soft tyre doesn't last long at all. We've been told it's good for just a couple of laps. Fuel, they say, should last 10 to 11 laps. It's already lap 12, so these guys are due for fuel stops very soon. So everybody should be heading in for fuel soon, Dan. I think you're right. I think we might see a mass exodus from the circuit and into the pit lane.
Yeah, they do all fancy things with fuel mapping, don't they? I mean, I'm just the guy that puts my foot down as far as it'll go on the right-hand side and don't worry about fuel. That's why I drive a V8 in daily life. The fuel concerns are long gone. But apparently for strategy, certainly on a long track like this, when you have to take a tyre that's going to die, actually trying to save fuel is in your benefit. So that's why we saw Dino just relinquish that first place at the start of the race. Didn't seem too concerned, did he, as Liam passed him? Because he's just trying to run his fastest overall 40-minute race.
Yeah.
And let's see whether that's quick enough. I'm really interested to see where Liam comes through after this pit stop window finishes. They're coming down the Conrod straight now into the chase. Are they going to start piling in here on lap 12?
Yeah, Dino put up no resistance on that overtake early on, but look now, Vincent in third position, and there's our man over there in seventh place, the fastest man on circuit at the moment with a 2:03.5, still the fastest man on circuit, and he will be waiting patiently for those pit stops that are about to take place. I think this will be the big winner from this pit stops, but will he need to stop again? Time will tell.
Yeah, he's definitely got to stop again, and he's got to try and gain an entire pit stop over two stoppers, hasn't he? So that's how you make a two-stopper work.
Yeah.
And it's questionable whether it will. So to do that, it means he will be behind after his second stop, and he's going to have to make a pass on track, which is exactly what we as spectators want to see, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, so far it doesn't seem to be working out for him at all, but he does seem to not have the pace that he had before. 2:05 currently, a stark difference from the 2:03.5 and the 2:03.6 he did earlier on before the pit stop. Now in the 2:06 range.
Yeah, it makes it look like he started on the soft tyre, doesn't he, to go at 2:03 and be 3 seconds off now on the hard tyre. So it's still a possibility maybe we can do a complete flip and do a one-stopper but soft first, hard later. Doesn't look like anyone else is coming to the pit stops. They managed to get that one extra lap and they'll be coming in on lap 13. Surely now these guys have got to pit for fuel at least.
Well, we've got our man Kyle from the world of Gran Turismo. He's going to be joining us very shortly, giving us some quick insights into what we're watching on screen over here at the moment, what strategies are playing out, which ones are going to work and which ones aren't going to work. Kyle, are you with us? I'm just waiting.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. I heard the bleep. The Kyle
yes,
is
he's in the room, but we haven't got the mic on him yet, so we'll get the guys to strap up a mic onto him.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're waiting for the first round of pit stop from the DMRE guys. Top 6. We're just seeing whether they come in on this lap. So here would be the opportunity, and exactly.
And there we go. There goes Dino.
Dino's coming into the pits.
There goes Dino
13, just as he said he probably would. So this is to take off his hard tyres and go on to the racing soft.
Yeah,
to go
he's
to
on the hards.
Race.
Second place, also on hards, Dan. Sorry to interrupt you there. Third place on hards as well. So all of them in the pits at the moment. Look at that. SMP Pro ran out of fuel. He had no fuel left. And here comes 7th place man Liam at the moment. He's going to be watching that Delta on screen over there and trying to make sure that he can leapfrog his compatriots now. Just 2 more corners to go for Liam to see if he's going to be able to take that lead. Here we go.
Yeah, and he needs a reasonable lead as well if he's going to get another stopper in, because it does look like the battle of the one stopper versus the 2 stoppers here against Liam. But yeah, everyone on the DRME guys went in on the hards, and then look, there you go, Dino switched onto the softs, and he's going to try and do 6 laps on the softs, which apparently is quite some feat because we got 7
look at this!
Come out in front.
Oh
Dino's
my goodness! Dino's in front on the softs, and just behind him, Vincent. He's going to be so fast. Vincent behind him as well, and so is Stefan Mocker. and Stefan Marker, followed by Liam. Liam has them in his sights, but I don't think he's going to have the pace here. Just look at the swapping positions over here. Vincent in third place over there, fighting with his teammate. I wonder what the team orders would be like at this stage of the race.
Yeah, I don't want to. I also wonder that. It's unknown, isn't it? I think Dino would like to think that they would help him out, but I mean, he's doing everything he needs to do so far, isn't he? Because he's going to be so fast for at least 3 laps on those softs, and then apparently after 6 laps, you start losing about 3 or 4 seconds a lap. It's that big a degradation in the tyre wear. But it looks like Liam didn't get a good enough push.
Well, Dino's slipping down. Dino's slipping down. Dino's got a problem. Dino's got a big problem there, and regardless of what his team wants to do to help him, Dino slips back to third position, Dan. I'm not sure if he's picked up the pace again, but something's gone wrong there. Dino slips back to third place, and it looks like he's got it going again, but now he's got Luke right behind him. He's got Liam right behind him. I apologize. Liam is right behind Dino. Liam makes the overtake.
He's got an issue, hasn't he? He's got a major issue here, Dino. I mean, he's done something with the fuel or something, because he's massively just come off the throttle, and Liam just cruised past like he was stood still.
Could that be a technical problem on his rig? More than likely, I think that looks like something on the rig. The gas pedal stopped working. He definitely put fuel in. I'm sure he would have put fuel in. Maybe he forgot to put fuel in, Dan.
I don't know. It's something very, very odd, because he's just completely off, isn't he? He's going round, but it's like he's on 50% throttle. So I'm not sure. There's a massive mix-up for the books, because, I mean, Dino, he doesn't... Obviously, Kaketso Polani taking his drop round here. This was something that he wanted to get points on the board, and at the moment, this is a bit of a disaster from Dino, down in 4th position right now.
Jeez, what a disaster. And now all of a sudden...
He's in the pits again. So did he miss fuel or something wrong with his pit window?
Dino's got 47 litres of fuel there.
Yeah, so why is he in?
Something's gone wrong there. I'm not quite sure what that is. He's on the softs as well. He's back in the pit lane.
What a disaster if it's hardware failure. It looks like something along those lines. He's got his tyres, he's got his fuel. There's no reason for him to be in the pit lane right now.
Okay, so we just got confirmation that Kyle will be joining us ever so slightly shortly. His microphone, we managed to get his lapel mic working in the studio here with us. So Kyle, are you with us this time?
I am with you this time, Ernest.
Kyle, so number one, can you tell us perhaps what would have happened now with Dino?
So from what I saw, DMRE Snakey ran out of fuel. He missed the pits on lap 13, and he was crawling across the top of the mountain, and Dino came unsighted and crashed into the back of him.
Oh, we missed that. How did we miss that?
And it was a huge pileup. Everyone was hitting the brakes. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got damage then. Is it damage that causing the huge drop in pace?
So he had a damaged engine, front splitter, both front tires. He had to go back to the pits. Now he's 36 seconds behind the leader with, 8.5 minutes to go.
This is exactly what we were saying at the start of the race, that Bathurst, you can come around the corner and there's a roadblock in front of you, and there is literally nothing you can do about it, which is why you don't count your chickens until you're literally going past the checkered flag.
No chickens need to be counted. No chickens need to be counted. Kyle, of course, you've spent much time on this sim. You've also set up the conditions for the drivers to be driving in today. No rain expected, but these pit stop strategies have thrown a bit of a curveball. What are the drivers experiencing so far?
So what I expected was multiple strategies to be taken, but a lot of guys started on the hards and ran them deep. There seemed to be a mutual agreement in the DMR guys. The whole top 6 was DMR, so basically no racing, don't lose time. And as you saw when they came out the pits, they managed to jump the leader.
Yeah,
it worked.
Yeah,
so now they're having to do a sprint to the end on the softs.
Are they going to make it? Apparently, yeah. 6 laps on the softs is going to be hard work, I'm told.
Yes, the soft tires after 4 laps start to become very sketchy.
Yeah, which sketchy on a big sort of Paul Ricard is fine. Sketchy on Mount Panorama, not so much.
We've just seen someone damage their engine, so this is getting interesting as we head into the final. So there you have it, folks. Confirmation from Kyle himself that the person that helped set up the game, the settings in game, that the top 6 guys at one stage were all running soft tires, and now you can see all the DMR guys that you see running all the way to 6th position. running that soft tire. They've got quite a few laps to go, but 7 minutes now. I think they should be fine, Dan. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you're fine until you're not fine, aren't you? That's the problem with tyre degradation. You're like, oh, this is easy. Oh, hold on a minute, there's a wall and I'm going straight at it. So let's see whether they can last 3 more laps. We're looking to finish possibly lap 20, but most likely lap 19. That's just a massive, unfortunate situation for Dino, isn't it? When he wants to get points on the board, at the moment he's running in 6th place. Where Liam comes, I think he flipped his strategy, started on the soft and finishing on the hards.
Yes.
So he might be a force to come back into this race at the end of this race because his tyres will still have something left in them.
Well, let's look at the times here. We're on board with Stefan, and his times at the moment 204.3, low 204s, 203.7 now for.
That's quick, eh?
Wow. So 203.7, he's right up there with the fastest time. If we can cut to, there we go. Our producer knows exactly what we're after. Look at that.
211. So I mean.
Yeah,
that's
that
nowhere near
good.
Enough, is it?
That doesn't look good at all. He gets overtaken there by Nitro Merlin as well. That's Michael. And no, that's nowhere near enough. Now, what will happen as the tires start wearing off? That is the big question. That's what we're going to have to wait and see. But other than that...
Yeah, I mean, this tyre progression, like 7x tyre wear, it is... I mean, actually, there was a lot of guys chatting about it in the Discord earlier today. I just took a glimpse of it, and they enjoy the challenge, but apparently it is one hell of a challenge. So I'm not sure I'd enjoy that quite so much. I like to just be a little bit more as expected, but they mix it up in GT7 by the looks of it, the Gran Turismo community, and it's all about coming up with the best strategy for the combination that's been presented to you. And the combination here is hard and soft tyres with 7x. And we got we got spinning round. Vincent spun round at the top of the dipper.
Oh no.
So there was a car sideways there, and Stefan Mocker's now leading the race.
Oh my goodness. Stefan Mocker leads the race. We've seen him near the front so many times. But now here we go, Stefan Mocker in the lead of this race. Oh,
another
big drift there by Zivan.
This is the soft tyres giving in, isn't it? We're seeing it 2
my
laps
goodness
left.
me. How is this possible, Dan? Do you think we're going to see the same thing we saw the last time as Liam now starts to get a whiff of this? He smells blood in the water. Liam making his way to the front to try and figure out if he can make this position that he's currently in work out for him.
Well, you look at the gaps and you think the only way it's possible is if they literally fall off a cliff, these soft tyres, and they're just nursing them just to remotely get past the finish line. But when you start seeing cars going sideways on that mountain section, you close your eyes, because that's somewhere where you want to be fully in control of your vehicle.
Well, Liam with a DMR battle on his hands. Someone jokingly called this the DMR Pro Series. Liam is trying to have something. Liam is wanting to have something to say about that. In 4th place, he's currently leading DMR Dino. Dino with some serious pace underfoot. Nitro Merlin in 3rd position. 2nd place, Vincent now. And leading us off is Stefan Mocker. Stefan Mocker, your 3rd place man from round 1, leads us off in 1st position for Team DMR, and there he goes. Best time 2:04, his previous lap. Let's watch how this lap pans out to get an indication of where he's at. 2:04.9, Dan, and that's the slow creep towards the slower pace. Dino doing a 2:01 fastest lap time so far. But I'm very interested to see what Stefan Mocker does now on the course of this very lap we're watching right now.
Yeah, the sun comes out on the mountain, and Stefan Mocker's got a bit of a gap, hasn't he? It's 4 seconds. All of a sudden, he wasn't expecting that a lap ago. And he's only got to complete this lap and another lap, and he could take round 2 and all of a sudden throw his name in the hat as a potential champion for this ATK Pro Series in GT7.
Yeah, Stefan Mocker looking very good out there. This is one of those keep it together sort of moments. But so far, the car's pace doesn't seem to be too much affected. But we do have to wait for the end of this round, for the end of this lap at least. And then we'll know for sure. But so far, he's still holding it together. No, I don't see any squirrely moments for him just yet.
And I see Dino's just put in a fast lap of the races of a 2:01.9. So showing him the pace that he would have had. I mean, he'll be really upset with coming in contact with another car, and it just completely wrecks his race, doesn't it? Because there's points on the board that's not going to be there anymore.
points on the board, taken off the board. Kaketso Polani not here today, our championship leader, and Dino now with a chance 206.5. So definitely some pace slowing down there. This is Dino now, the man on a hard charge, and Liam still in his sights, but he's quite a ways down. He's quite a ways down from Liam, but definitely with some serious pace there from our man. Gaining
so
at about
going
2 seconds.
I'm not sure. This should be the last lap of the race, though, shouldn't it? So whether it's going to be, I mean, yeah, Dino's really getting. He can sort of get some points on the board, and he's got a round that he can drop later. I mean, there's one thing of having a drop round when you have 0 points on the board, like Kaketso Polani's done, and there's another to have like a banker of a 4th place to fall back on in case it's necessary. Because you never know. I would never like to just miss a race completely, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Puts Kaketso Polani really on the back foot for this championship, because you never know what's going to happen with 4 rounds to go.
Exactly. Big time puts him on the back foot. Maybe he likes the pressure, but it's always good to give yourself a little bit of a breather where you can. Dino, though, with a 204.8 earlier on. So Dino not as quick as he once was. So he's definitely slowing down, but he still is catching up at a frenetic rate on 4th place man Liam over there. So far, it looks like our leader is out on his own for now, Stefan Mocker. But whether that will remain the case, well, 10 seconds to go, I suppose. We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, it should be the last lap of the race. But like going back to the drop round, I mean, when your last round is the launch, you want to have points on the board, and Dino is really pushing. He wants to try and get 4th place and just get some points on the board. But there we have.
Oh! Merlin across
Yellow
the track there, and Vincent is now. Oh, somebody's gone off there. Dino is now 4th place. And Liam is now 3rd place, man. So Liam's strategy has paid off, puts him on the podium so far. Vincent in 2nd place. Nitro Merlin slips back. And the soft tires didn't pay off for everyone, Dan.
Yeah, Liam's lap times are all over the place, aren't they? Back quick again, 207. He had a sort of 212 and a 211 in there that really lost him time. But yeah, we got Stefan Mocker takes the win here at round 2. At Bathurst. What a win it was. I mean, no one wanted to win it, and he took it.
We lost track of our winner over there. Stefan Mocker slips under the radar, takes the win. Vincent gets 2nd, Liam gets 3rd, Dino 4th, Nitro Merlin 5th. Ladies and gentlemen, what a turn of events here. Not the straight-laced expectations we were looking to see. Certainly this one upset the apple cart ever so slightly. Kaketso Polani walking back to all of this. We'll be right back after this break, folks.
Welcome to Africa's first ROG arena.
Cars.co.za.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're waiting for the official results. But what a cracking race over there. The shuffle happened all the way through, Dan. We saw a couple of guys leading this race as it went towards the final stages. But in the end, there was only one man that could win it. And that's our man SMP3 Pro takes the win. Slides under the radar. Among all the melee, Dan finds himself at the end, first position when it counts.
Yeah, that's what happens at Mount Panorama, though, doesn't it? You can get yourself so well prepared, but it can be fully taken out of your hands when you come around a corner and there's a car just parked in front of you. So Stefan Mocker's got some very valuable points on the board on a bit of a bogey circuit. Certainly one you would never categorically put your name down as a favourite to win, because anything can happen. And we move on to a little bit of more of a familiar circuit in Spa-Francorchamps for round 3.
Yeah, I think that will suit many of the drivers, because many of them would have spent a lot of time on that circuit. We're going to see Keketso Pelani back on that day. But the story of the day, as we wait for the official results, is still that Stefan Mocker took this win. And unfortunately, the big loser here today is DMRE Dino K. This was a race where he was tipped to win it, qualified first, but still found himself fighting with his teammates. And I think he had all the support he needed, but unfortunately it just didn't work out for him today, Dan.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. He probably would have fancied himself for the win, as we did as well. But it has to be said that as far as his championship rival in Keketso Pelani, at least he has some points on the board that he could fall back on if it's called upon to use those points. So a 4th place is something better than a 0, isn't it? So Keketso's got it all to do if he wants to fight for this championship with 4 rounds to go. And I'm just really concerned about round 6, because it's another bogey circuit, the Nordschleife. Anything could happen there. You could get a DNF there. So that's where this 4th place for Dino could actually not be a bad day's work.
Yeah, well, Dino was up until right at the end. I mean, just minutes to go, Dino was still seconds to go. Dino was still running in 5th position, so he will find some solace that he did what he needed to do to get the maximum amount of points. But as you mentioned, then this could be his drop round as well. So it's not over yet. It's not over by a long shot yet. And I think someone that believes that very, very much is also DMR SMP3 and Vincent as well, who both now scored themselves 1st and 2nd positions respectively, find themselves suddenly back in title contention as we wait for those official results. Vincent now in 4th place, only 6 points behind Keketso, and Michael Roux in with 392 points. So I apologize, Stefan Mocker with 396, only 4 points behind, and now he is right back in the mix.
So we saw a race that in the end paid out to one strategy. Here we have our official results
there we go.
On the screen. So we were expecting a mix of a 2-stopper and a 1-stopper. In actual fact, everyone went with a 1-stopper. It's just which way round you did it, whether you started on the hards and finished on the softs, or vice versa, as Liam did in 3rd position eventually when he came through, finishing on his racing hard tyres. So Stefan Mocker's got some decent points on the board for round 2, really puts his name out there as a championship contender here in the ATK Mercedes-Benz Pro Series in Gran Turismo 7.
Yes, he does. And Stefan Mocker, as you mentioned, puts himself back in the picture. But he was always in the picture. He was 3rd in the championship. But, this is one of those situations where you, as a driver, you think to yourself, I can't just be getting 3rds and 3rds and 2nds and 2nds. So this will be a sort of confidence booster for Stefan Mocker. Gets that win, takes home the gold, and gets 1st place and all the points that comes with it. In 2nd position, our man Vincent over there will be saying the same. The last result for him was a 4th place. And I think 3rd place, man, Liam, same for him, 7th place before. And now all of a sudden, right up there with the big boys. So Liam, I think, is going to be looking very much forward to the next round, rubbing his hands together, because he knows he can stick it to the DMR boys, even on a bad day.
Yeah, it's got a couple of guys to see whether they can take on the DMRA guys, because they're a force to be reckoned with as a team, aren't they? Let's face it. They're dominating the Gran Turismo scene here in South Africa. We go on to 3 more familiar circuits where you can go round corners and thoroughly expect not to see someone parked in front of you. So we got Spa. Trial Mountain is obviously something very familiar with Gran Turismo drivers. And then Daytona International Speedway.
I think I might whip out the old,
the
old controller.
At the race standings.
I think I might whip out the old controller for Trial Mountain. Just saying.
Round 4.
Yes.
I've got to get a PlayStation for round 4.
Yeah. Stefan Mocker finds himself at the top. Vincent Null in second place. Liam in third. But Dean not only gets fourth place, but an extra point for fastest lap. The last time ATK gets Balani found himself with the fastest lap. This time Dino gets it. So Dino altogether 395 points. That's not a bad point haul for him. Michael in fifth position over there, Rainier. And it's so nice to see some of our Pool 2 guys making it through. Rav over there, underscore pace, making it through, and with a fantastic drive from him all the way up in seventh position. We didn't really get to see much of him on screen over there, so I think that would have been nice to see more of him. And look at Michael Roux all the way down in 11th position. Unfortunately, he didn't have a great second half of the race, even though the first half was going pretty well. And then another name to mention over there is Tini Maritz, also from our Pool 2. Finds himself mixing it with Pool 1 and somehow managing to show the boys how it's done. He has clearly proven that he deserves his spot in the top 10. So well done to Tini Maritz, almost in the top 10, I apologize, but well done to him for making it this far, and also to someone that's going to be a regular occurrence in this division now, I think, Rehan Esop.
Yeah, and here we have the championship standards, and Stefan Mocker, with that win, launches himself to the top of the standings with 796 points over his teammate in Dino in second place with his fastest lap points, and Vincent now also. It's a DMRE lockout for the top 3, but Stefan Mocker is the one leading, which may be a little bit unexpected, but I mean, he's got fantastic pace, and he was there when he needed to be.
That's a bit surprising there for many people, but not to Stefan Mock. I'm sure he believed that on the right day, in the right moment, in the right place and space, he could find himself at the top of the podium, and that's exactly what he's done today. 796 points for all his trouble over the last 2 races. Dean K gets 793 points, and just look at how tight that spacing is. Just 1 point behind is Vincent now in third position. Liam Pisanello, of course, all over the back of the DMR boys in that championship standing over there. He's stuck in a Dagwood DMR sandwich there, Dan.
Yeah, exactly, he is indeed. And don't forget 13th place runner Kaketso Pilani, 401 points was the maximum haul in round 1. He's put himself under a huge amount of pressure for the rest of this season by taking Bathurst as his drop round. So he's got it all to do for the concluding 4 rounds of this season. But you wouldn't put it past him for getting right back up where he belongs at the top.
Well, at the top is what these drivers are going to be fighting for. And now all of a sudden we find ourselves with a few more names near the top of the spear. Stefan Mocker, a familiar name, now right at the top with 796 points. Folks, we're going to be wrapping it up soon. Of course, this is the ATK Pro Series powered by Mercedes and all our sponsors on the bottom left of your screen. The next round, Dan, a circuit that you know quite a bit about, and I think many people are going to know and love, Spa-Francorchamps, one of the most iconic circuits in the world. And these drivers are going to be heading up and down those hills at full speed.
It really is, though, epic, isn't it, Spa? I mean, it is. I don't know anyone that doesn't like Spa. I mean, what a circuit it is. And no doubt when we get the combo announced for Gran Turismo 7, they'll start working on those strategies, frantically working out which tyre combinations are the best for the ultimate lap time. And that's what I find so intriguing in this Gran Turismo series. So when we get to Spa, we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, and indeed, thanks to our team for setting this up. because it really did provide some fantastic racing all the way to the end, and an interesting element to what we're going to be seeing. And of course, with Spa's massive pit lane, that should be an interesting spin on things at the next round. Well, folks, that's it from us here, myself, Ernest Page, and Daniel Haynes. We'll see you guys at Spa-Francorchamps for the next round. Next week, we'll be back with the second round of the Assetto Corsa version of the Pro Series. Until then, stay fast, stay sharp, and we'll see you guys back on track.